All right, it is Wednesday morning, October 30th. It's about 10:35 in the morning, West Coast time. A lot of people have been asking me about what the United States Supreme Court did relative to the voter purge being attempted by Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. The Supreme Court is allowing that to go forward. As with most things related to the Supreme Court, I always wait for one of my favorite reporters on Supreme Court issues, a guy named Mark Joseph Stern. He writes for Slate, and he put out an article a little bit ago. The Supreme Court just carved an outrageous loophole into a major voting rights law. That's his headline. The Supreme Court decided Wednesday that at least 1,600 people, including some known to be United States citizens with every right to vote, can be removed from Virginia's voter rolls before Election Day. The conservative supermajority's order, issued on the shadow docket, essentially nullified a landmark federal law that bars last-minute voter purges. All three liberal justices dissented. Ominously, the court's intervention signals to other states that they can commence purges at the 11th hour, suppressing the vote through legal gamesmanship that Congress explicitly sought to ban. Wednesday's order is a major victory for Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin and Attorney General Jason Miyares, both Republicans, in their quest to expand states' authority to cancel voter registrations just before voting begins. And it's a clear violation of federal law. It's not ambiguous. A federal statute, the National Voter Registration Act of 1993, outlawed any state program that systematically removes ineligible voters from the official lists of eligible voters starting 90 days before a federal election. Congress enacted that statute in recognition of the obvious fact that these purges often involve eligible voters as well, creating confusion and threatening civil rights. Nonetheless, Governor Youngkin issued an executive order exactly 90 days before the November 5th election, mandating a daily set of voter purges. Youngkin claimed that the program went after only non-citizens. He was lying. His program swept up U.S. citizens in two ways. First, it targeted Virginians who checked a box on a DMV form indicating that they were non-citizens. But due to poor design of this form, a startlingly large number of U.S. citizens have checked this box. Moreover, many foreign nationals who checked the box years ago have since become U.S. citizens and are since eligible to vote. Second, Youngkin's program compared the names of alleged non-citizens on the voter rolls with a database of non-citizens maintained by the Department of Homeland Security. It then removed voters whose names purportedly appeared in that database. But this database is, by the government's own admission, incomplete and imperfect, and comparing its list with a state's voter rolls can easily lead to false matches. A lower court a federal judge halted the program last Friday. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit sustained that this past Sunday. Miyares petitioned the Supreme Court for emergency intervention backed by 26 red states and a host of Trump-aligned election integrity groups. Finally, on Wednesday, the Supreme Court stayed the lower court's order allowing the purge to continue. It did not explain its reasoning. Because the court issued its order on the shadow docket without full briefing or a written opinion, it did not identify how each justice voted. But all three liberals noted their dissent, indicating that it was very likely a 6-3 decision by the conservative supermajority. The Supreme Court's action is genuinely shocking. It has been settled law for more than 3 decades that states cannot do exactly what Virginia has done here. Congress could not have been clearer that these purges are prohibited because the risk to citizens' civil rights are intolerable. Just 2 weeks ago, a Trump-appointed federal judge in Alabama blocked a similar purge for this very reason. This current Supreme Court is corrupt, doesn't give two shits about precedent. They are not our friends, and they are firmly in Donald Trump's pocket.